This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Hunterdon Democrat, Times of Trenton, and Star Ledger on December 29, 2023. Posted on the Township website, the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, and filed with the Township Clerk as required by law. If you could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Diane.
Mr. Bond.
Here.
Mr. Bauer.
Here.
Mrs. Lockwood. Here. Mr. Vogel.
Here.
Mayor Walsh.
Here. Could I get a motion for the meeting minutes, please? So we have the December 11, 2023 regular meeting minutes, and then the December 20th, 2023 special meeting minutes. So moved. Second. Any discussion? You don't have any. Okay, if I could get a roll call. All those in favor of the December 11, 2023 regular meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor for the December 20, 2023 special meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
Yes.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, moving on to the mayoral appointments. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the appointments? And the appointments, frankly, for all the other positions that were made by the committee?
Pretty much the same as it was.
It is. Okay. Joe, you good? Good. Dave, did you have any comment?
No.
Okay.
Mayor, I'm sorry, did you, on the December 11th, was your motion for regular and executive or just regular?
I believe, did we receive I think it was an all-in-one sort of,
Well, it should be all in one because you're approving the regular, but executive you would be approving and holding.
okay.
So, and
So we need to break that out then.
I didn't hear executive. If
Okay.
I missed it,
I did state executive, but it was in the same motion, so,
yeah,
I think we should break it out
I
then.
would like a separate motion for the
Okay.
executive session minutes for December 11th to approve and hold.
okay. Could I have that motion from someone?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on those, the executive session minutes? Okay, hearing none,
You
I
can
guess
do all
we'll
of
do the vote.
it. You can do all of it.
Okay. I'm sorry, you want me to do the all in favor?
Yeah, you don't have to
Okay.
do, you don't have to
Okay.
do roll call.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
Yes, one.
Thank you. Okay. So if I could get a motion for the mayoral appointments, please?
I'll move the appointments.
Okay, do we need a roll call on that one, please? Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Bond.
Yes.
Mr. Bauer.
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood. Yes. Mr. Vogel.
Yes.
Mayor Walsh.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to move on to public comment. If you could only please comment on the agenda items only, and keep your comments to 3 minutes per person, please. Wow. This is unusual. So, okay, I'm going to close public comment, and we're going to move forward with the Township Committee liaison reports and general comments from the Township Committee.
Feels like the last meeting was yesterday.
It does. Nothing?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Mrs. Lockwood?
I can say that the school's green team met. I'm staying on that, I hope that's okay. And they basically are mapping out all the activities they are going to do for the year.
Okay.
And probably the biggest thing is that they will be doing their Earth Day celebration event again. And somewhere I wrote the date, but I didn't write it down. April 24th in the afternoon. And then the DTMUA also met. They, I guess, theirs is always a little, they generally don't reorganize until like a month later or whatever, so
Right.
anyway, they did have, and I'm not sure if the request came in, but they did have a request for a member, I don't.
Yes, I have that, and that was in this.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but,
So,
right, there's our January 31st.
right, so even though they met already, they wanted to make sure that we got that,
Yes,
so,
included in this.
and that's all I have at this point.
Thank you. Mr. Bauer?
Yes, so a couple things. One is, when it comes to the quarry this month, they have their annual submission due at the end of the month. Diane, there's a checklist that I'll circle back with Diane, just so you're clear on what the township clerks got to sign off on.
Okay.
I'll be working with Ms. Katz, who's in the back of the room, and we will move things forward like we did last year. So that's the big update there. Being the liaison for rec, I had a chance to participate or observe their meeting today. There was a few things that came out of that discussion. One, those of you that know BJ, he's been the chair for quite some time. He's just, he's very busy, so they made a decision tonight. He's going to step down as the chair. They voted in Jess Stahl, which I think they may still be downstairs. You guys all know Jess. She's in the back of the room usually, and she does a very, very good job. So that happened tonight. They also voted in Judy Allen as their secretary, contingent upon tonight being selected and nominated and approved as an alternate. Assuming that has happened, it's in the actual list here.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
So we'll let her know that we'll move forward with that. And the last, they had a lady, a grant expert come in with a grant that they're looking at, sponsored by T-Mobile. This grant is really for they're focusing and targeting small communities, and they're looking to do various project improvements. So the idea that Rec pitched tonight was to have a gazebo built over here in the courtyard. So what I asked is that they send the grant proposal in to us, we have a look at it, and we'll have JT look at it and see if we're comfortable with it before we make any decisions.
Great.
So that's, I think that's everything.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughn?
So report on the DPW now or later?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I went down there this morning, down the garage, and talked to them and about, actually all I talked to was, I can't think of his name now, but he's only got 7 months and he's retired. And Harley was there, of course, he's just part-time, just mows the lawn and stuff. Jay was out getting oil for the hydraulic pump on the salt spreader, and they made it out very well. Dave Martin had a truck in also for spreading salt, and so that took care of that. And then, I talked to Jay tonight about getting everybody ready, doing what he can to get ready for the pending storm that we hope it's not as bad as they talk about. But anyway, they're ready for it. And Casavan was sick today, just started that, and Newbury's, of course, been out since October, so they're a little bit short of help down there,
Right.
to say the least. So that's all.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. So first off, I'd like to honor I have some prepared remarks, and I apologize because I might get a little tough, moved by this. But this evening, I'd like to honor the life of a remarkable person who touched the hearts of many in our town. Tony Sweat will forever be remembered for the countless contributions he made to our community. He displayed an unwavering dedication to making our town a better place for all of us, whether you were a lifelong member or a newcomer. He was always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need, whether it was checking in on some of our older citizens on a regular basis, and I've heard about that countless times, or stories about Tony doing that, volunteering for our local charities or committees, and everyone knows Tony chaired the Environmental Commission and also chairs the charitable organization Friends of Delaware Township, or simply being a friend to those who needed one. His smile and kind heart touched everyone he met through his time with us. Though his time with us was way too short, The neighborly experiences he created will live on in our hearts forever. Let us honor his memory by continuing what he started, by being kind to one another like Tony was to all of us, and by striving to continually make our town a better place. Rest in peace. You will be deeply missed, Tony. If we could all have a moment of silence for Tony. Thank you. I just wanted to talk briefly about the incoming storm. I had a call today with the county. As everyone probably saw in the news tonight, the state of New Jersey has already declared a state of emergency. The county officials are fully prepared to assist with our local municipal assets if need be. Our police department, fire company, and our DPW, as Dave had mentioned, are prepared to take action if necessary. We do have joint access to swift water boats in the case of any flash flooding. Obviously, please stay in your homes tomorrow evening if possible. Do not cross any water, whether it appears to be shallow and not moving, because there is a chance that both are not in fact the case. And also prepare for extensive and widespread power outages due to already high water tables coupled with melting snow, plus the 3 to 5 inches of additional rain and high wind gusts approaching 40 to 50 miles per hour. From what the county had indicated to me is the Delaware River cresting will not occur until Thursday or Friday, but they're hopeful that it will not reach flood stage. So everyone just be very diligent and careful out there tomorrow in case you have to go out for any particular reason, but please try to stay at home. Some good news, Covered Bridge, the ribbon cutting ceremony will be held Friday the 19th at 9 a.m. If you can make sure that you spread the word, because I originally had mentioned on social media that the ceremony was going to be taking place this Friday, and I guess the county thought because of the weather circumstances that they wanted to push it off until the following Friday. So that will be Friday the 19th at 9 a.m.
Can I ask a quick
Sure.
question? I heard that they had left some materials by the bridge, and
Okay.
after the last rainstorm, they actually already flew down and were spread down the
They
street.
had indicated that they were going to try to collect that, so I'll follow up with that.
Yeah, because I had.
There's
a
still
request-
some stuff there? or-
I don't know. I had a request from a
Okay.
resident who lives further down, who
Okay.
said that the stuff had already flown all over, and he just wanted to say, maybe the county should like go check and pick stuff
Okay,
up.
I'll follow up again, because I did mention to that previously to them, and they had mentioned that they were going to clean it up, but there were still things down there. Obviously, they didn't do a very good job, so I'll follow up with that. I was curious, I won't be here on Friday the 19th, so I wanted to know if any of the other committee members had an interest in being there for the ceremony. 9 a.m. on Friday the 19th. Yeah, it's a little tough, but if anyone could be there, that would be great.
I will check.
Okay, thank you. I also wanted to mention to the residents that Thursday evening at 7 o'clock this week, Surgeonsville and Stockton Fire Companies will be hosting a presentation and conducting a resident Q&A session regarding the announced plans to merge the two fire companies. So if you have any questions or concerns, I highly recommend you go attend the meeting, see the presentation, and see whether or not you have any additional questions, once the presentation.
Add to that?
Sure.
I would encourage those of you that are interested to go and listen to the discussion. Both of those fire departments have done a lot of due diligence over the past 10 years. They've been tracking call volume. There's just a big issue with call volumes increasing and the number of volunteers continuing to decline. So there's obviously going to be a problem. I was very impressed with some of the earlier conversations, the subject matter expert that they hired that helped them kind of really approach their plan. To me, it was very impressive, and it was clear that they've done a lot of good work. They'll talk about a study they're looking to field to assess and understand exactly where to place assets. So those were some of my initial concerns, but after hearing the initial kind of presentation education, it was reassuring for me, so I would encourage you, go out and listen to them. Yeah.
So again, the meeting is Thursday night at Surgeonsville or the Stockton?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, Surgeonsville Fire
No,
Company.
no, yeah, I want to make sure I'm.
Yes,
here.
at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, I should have made that clear.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I had. I guess we'll move on to the administrator's report.
Okay, Delaware Township has received the final $50,000 of the $75,000 Tier A grant. As you're aware, DEP redesignated all the 101 previous Tier B municipalities to Tier A to help better manage stormwater discharge. The Tier A permit addresses former quality issues related to both new and existing development. So the $75,000 could be used for the adoption of stormwater-related ordinances, which we did in 2023. Use it for the implementation of street sweeping program or municipal maintenance yard, development of best management practices, completion of the MS4 infrastructure map, which is going to be required to be done. And it's required that employees are trained, the DPW employees as well as all the zoning board members. So Adam presented a annual municipal employee stormwater training online, which I actually took. It was pretty good. Very informative. And for those that missed it, you can watch, he has a link, you can watch it, and you just have to email the engineering firm to get credit. So Delaware Township gets credit.
Is there a cost for that?
No.
Okay.
So the requirement is annually you have to take this training regarding the duties and record-keeping requirements associated with the new permit. Also, Diana's working with Adam on the content of the stormwater page.
Okay.
And that also will have a link to, at some point, a link to the training and to all this information. Like we talked about last time, Lambert Road is delayed now until spring for paving. Same thing with the smaller repair on Raven Rock Road. And we also updated the tax maps based on the updates from 2023, so we're current with that. I work with the tax assessor on that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Committee have any questions for Diana?
No, I mean, the only thing, and again, there'll be a letter eventually coming from the Stormwater Committee, but the Stormwater Committee, oh, it's here? Oh. So the Stormwater Committee was interested in getting together with the Environmental Commission if we had a Clean Communities Coordinator, the Clean Communities Coordinator, and Adam, so that we could all learn about the stormwater, the Tier A requirements, and help in any way that we can, because we knew that this past year, Adam had reached out to the Environmental Commission, and they were not willing to help, but it was kind of out of left field, and they were like not prepared, and it was like maybe that was not something that they should be doing or could be doing or whatever. So, so that's why there was a suggestion that those two committees
Get together.
yes, and we just wanted to get your permission to do that because Adam will probably bill us for whatever time he spends with us.
Right.
Well, I really suggest you listen
Take
to
the
the training first. It is very helpful, and maybe you can find out, find certain areas that you're interested in helping.
And-
So I'll send the link to you.
Thank you. And I believe we're looking at a potential hire for the DPW position. And if that, correct me if I'm wrong, but they would also be in charge of Clean Communities as well. So if that were to happen quickly, I think it would be beneficial for them to be included in that meeting.
Oh,
So
yeah, I mean, as I said, it was our intent, it's just that we know
Right.
that there's no one there.
we just don't have anyone.
Right.
So if you don't mind, if we could defer this until we see what happens with that candidate, that would be great.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see where we are. Okay, so we're to resolutions now. So I have Resolution 24-60, which is support for an application to the State Agricultural Development Committee for farmland preservation grant funds for fiscal year 2023. Could I get a motion?
I'll move the resolution.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
I think we do something like this, like almost every year, in order
Right.
to be qualified to get whatever grant funds we can get.
Exactly. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Bond?
I mean, I'm sorry, I would, yes. I
Mr.
approve the resolution, I was thinking about it, he's asked me if I had any report. Yes on the resolution.
Yes on the resolution. Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Boogie?
Yes.
Mayor Wall?
Yes. Okay, resolution 24-61, authorizing payment of municipal obligations.
So moved in the amount of $3,335,696.77.
Does that have school taxes in it?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Don't want everyone in the audience to get nervous about that number. Okay, so any discussion?
I think we only have a motion.
I'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Bond?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Boogie?
Yes.
Mayor Wall?
Yes. Okay, moving on to old business, Sustainable New Jersey grant update. Hello.
That'd be me,
Yes.
Happy Cats, on the grant committee, joint grant committee between, as you remember, refresh your memory, between the environmental commissions and green team and the open space committee, joined forces. We were successful last year, last March, or actually May, to get a $2,000 Sustainable Jersey grant to do mapping of all of our public access open spaces and get the information up on the website. So we've been working with that. Unfortunately, I will report not as quickly as we'd hoped because in the budget, we had budgeted the open space coordinator to do work. No open space coordinator, so that fell on us volunteers and, life gets in the way.
Right.
But I am happy to report, hopefully you did get, I had provided hard copies of the memo to Diana back in December, and I also emailed everyone, all of you, a copy of our December 11th memo, which is the update, as well as the mock-up or the conceptual design for the website. So we're at the point now, we are ready to make it happen, where we have gone through with the tax assessor, tax assessor. Michelle gave me a list of all of the parcels, and we've culled through that list, worked a lot with NJCF because they have the lion's share of open space, public access open spaces. DEP's got quite a few, so we've been going through that list, culling it down, gathering all the information, and what we put together in the handout that I provided back in December memo is what we were envisioning for what we call the landing page, that we would have a QR code, and that's what we want to make sure you're okay with, is actually have a QR code that would be specific to take people to this landing page, which would be just for the open spaces, and the thought being future grant that we could actually get prints of the waterproof prints of the QR code made to put on all the trailheads.
Okay.
So that when residents, people want to go and hike the trails, go to the open spaces, they could scan the QR code right there on the spot. It brings you to the landing page on the township's website, which has a map, and that's what the landing page would have. It'd have a map of all of the parcels, all numbered or lettered, we haven't decided yet, and then a listing of all of them. I've been making PDFs of all the trail maps, so in addition to information, we're also going to have all the trail maps available. So you actually could then, right on your phone, have a trail map available to help you and guide you through your walk. So that's what we were envisioning on the land, and having the QR code, so hopefully everyone's okay with the QR code, give you permission to move forward on that, and work with the website company to get that developed. And it is free. We have looked into that. There is no cost to develop QR codes. And then we have the landing page. We have just some brief information. Right now, we're looking at about 15 or so parcels. And if there is a property owner like NJCF that has a website that has a lot more information, we'll have a link directly to that website. If not, and there's not a website available, we'll then have a click and we'll take you to another township page which I had in the memo, like Sarah Dilt's Park, Farm Park, that has all the information about that property right there when you click. So basically, it's one-stop shopping is what we're
Okay.
looking at.
Great.
So my first question, or our first question from the grant committee was we want to make sure, I haven't heard from any feedback, but I want to make sure the committee is okay with the concept of the webpage and the QR code before we move forward, because we have to go to press, so to speak, come February, so we're wrapping things up this month. And then the second or more major question, in the email, I included a list of township-owned properties. And we had raised this to the rec commission to see if they had any information about these parcels and knew if there's already public access. They did not, so hence that's why we are coming, the memo we sent to you was asking for information on what parcels you would like that you allow public access that you would like included on this map. I did a note, if you looked at the spreadsheet, is I did indicate which parcels did receive Green Acre funding. Because if you did receive Green Acre funds, you're supposed to have public access to some extent.
Sure.
So I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at these parcels, if you can, within the next week or so, provide us feedback on what you want included, not included, if that could be done, because we do need to get a map. We have to go to the planner.
So what's the deadline for?
We want to be able to be ready to have everything, we're gonna GPS it ourselves, all the locations, all the parking spots, and then we're giving that to the planner at the beginning of February.
Okay.
Is our goal.
I would think that the committee, we should probably get together on this in the next couple of weeks so that we can get it finalized.
Do we need any other boards to go weigh in?
Yes. So yes, I'm all about, sorry, I apologize. As I look at Deb, we are all about outreach. So the memo, the information that we provided to you folks, the Township Committee, it has also gone to not only the Rec Commission, it's gone to the Open Space Committee, and it's gone to the Environmental Commission. We discussed it at our meetings in December. So yes, we have asked for outreach, feedback from all the committees as well.
Great.
And the biggest one that we have actually came from John from the Environmental Commission. When I mentioned trail maps, he's like, yes, get the trail maps. So I've been very diligently making sure we have PDFs of trail maps, or at least I did screenshots. And we're actually looking, here's a good plus by not having an open space coordinator and not having that part of the budget. We have to use the money. State of New Jersey makes you use all of the money. So we have the money that was budgeted for that aspect that we have to use. So now we're looking, Roz is trying to get a quote now from the planner to see if he can do a map of the trail system at Dilt's Park. Since we don't have a trail map, to include it through the hayfields. So that'd be a positive thing, so.
I don't know if there's any way to submit the trail maps to all trails, because that's,
We're gonna have a link on the website, on the link on the website for that as well. But we just want to make it convenient, rather than the idea was not to have the links there, but to keep people from having to go yet to another website. Just want a map. Most people are there, they want to hike or go for a walk.
Sure.
Let me have a map right now. I want it now. Instant gratification.
Right. No, I think it's
And it was
wonderful.
easy for me to do. I mean, it's already on the websites anyway, getting links, so why not just do it, download the trail map?
No, I like it. And the one thing that I do like about the all trails is that you can have it on offline mode, so I don't know if down at Dilt's, if there's any areas of non-connectivity where you would have some difficulty being able to reach the PDF or whatnot. So that's just another consideration. I've never had any negative experience with being able to receive data down there, but
Yeah, and as far as all trails goes, any individual user could do it, and I use it, so I'd be more than happy to take the time once these are made to upload them all. It'll take no time at all.
that's great. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's
And I
wonderful.
will add too is, if you still need more time to determine, like the things like 5C Sarah Dilt's Park, that Farm Park, that's an easy one. Possibly the green, which should be an easy one, School Meadow Trail. there's properties that you can say yes right away. If there's others that you still need to think about, we can always add them later. We're under a deadline to get this grant completed and get the final report in, so we gotta have to keep moving. So I don't want you to get hung up thinking you have to, I think there was 12 properties on the list or 15 on the list. I don't want you to get hung up saying, oh, we can't make a decision yet. Move past and let me know which ones are thumbs up on, so we can get them GPS and mapped.
That'll be easy for us to accomplish.
Okay,
So
good, I appreciate
I'll make
it.
sure that gets done, so
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the presentation, and thanks for all your hard work, everyone, on that, because certainly something to be excited about, so thank you. So next, we have new business, and we don't have any that I'm aware of. So we will once again open the floor for public comment. This obviously doesn't have to be tied to the agenda. And I did want to mention, if you wanted to say something about Tony or something, feel free to do so. So I'll leave it up to you folks. Sir?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Joe Wiley, live on Lambert Road, and I wanted to thank the mayor for speaking about Tony. I'm sure everybody here knows Tony way better than I did, but Tony represented something which a lot of us think of Delaware Township as being a very friendly place. Well, if anybody could represent openness and friendliness, it's Tony. And I think it's a good thing that we remember him and always think about him if we are having any issues with any of our neighbors or people we don't know. Just think, how would Tony handle this? He would always bring people together, and he didn't even have to talk to people. He would just say, Tony, what is so-and-so saying, or who is so-and-so? He would introduce you remotely, and then you would find out what the people were like, and then hopefully you would get to like them, and then maybe you would go and introduce yourself to them. So Tony represents the best of our community. I say it in the present because I feel that he is with us. He will be with us, and hopefully we will have a mayor. I know you had some thoughts about this, that there will be some way of remembering him, a place to go where we will think about him, hopefully close by. Yeah, and in Tony's spirit of positivity, I wanted to thank our clerk, because I've been looking at the minutes, and I see we have very complete minutes. I wasn't necessarily at the meeting, but I could get an idea of what happened. So that's the way it should be. I'm glad we now have that capability, and thank you, committee, for figuring out how to get a person from our community who will do a great job on our minutes. That's all I have to say, but it's a good way of starting the new year. Let's think positive, and let's think, how would Tony want us to be?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And I apologize, if you could just say whether you're a resident or not when you speak. Thank you.
Nicole Boyd, and
Yes.
I am a resident. I live down the road at 447 Rosemont Ringo Road. I'm also an attorney, and I'm here in that capacity, but I'll take a moment personally, if I may, outside of my 3 attorney minutes, to thank you for your comments for Tony. He's going to be sorely missed. And I look forward to supporting the Friends of Delaware Township and memorializing him in whatever way I can. Again, Nicole Boyd, attorney. I represent Michelle and Chip Dempsey, who live down the road on Surgeonsville Road, and they're next door to the Schneider estate. I wanted to talk to you about the Schneider estate briefly and just bring to your attention something that you may want to know. So my former business partner, Robert Shanahan, was appointed by the court to be the administrator of the estate. The estate was deemed insolvent. I do have a copy of that court order that I can distribute to you. In the process of it being deemed insolvent, I recommended that the estate contact NJDEP. NJDEP showed up. They started doing some degree of cleanup using public funds, because again, the state's insolvent, no one else is going to clean it up. I reached out to the NJDEP for status updates periodically. I was dealing with Zach Lawrence, the Deputy Attorney General, and I can get this information to you after the email, so you don't have to write all this down. and a few other people at NJDEP were the technical specialists. Now, what NJDEP did was they collected some drums of materials that were above ground, they did some excavation, some limited testing. My understanding is that they were dealing with lead contamination and that there is a contaminated nearby potable well, not my client's, but another nearby neighbor is being given bottled water. And last fall, I requested a remediation report on this. I wanted all the documents from the NJDEP, and what I learned was very surprising to me. What I learned was that the NJDEP had not completed a remedial investigation report, which is where you scope out what is there, where is it, or a remedial investigation report where you plan how to clean it up. Instead, they had just done limited work pertaining to the materials above ground and the lead, some of it below ground. And in the meanwhile, the estate was declared insolvent. I have a copy of that court order. And as a result of the declaration, the estate was authorized to abandon the property. The limited funds, less than $10,000 less than the estate, was given to NJDEP. So what this means is that then when I asked the NJDEP for further details regarding the status of the remediation, and they informed me that they had not done the full scope of what would normally be done for a contaminated site, what I was surprised to learn is that they weren't planning to. So the concern that I have is that the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and I am going to suggest respectfully that you consider being that squeaky wheel. The NJDEP appears to be under the misconception that somebody is going to come along and redevelop 7 acres along 523 in Delaware Township as a brownfields. It is never going to happen. Our zoning doesn't support any use that you would, and you certainly don't want a variance for a use that would afford this. Because currently the status of the property, what happens when it's abandoned is the lien holders can come along and foreclose on it and do something with it, or a brownfields developer becomes interested in it. There's no brownfields developer who would be interested.
Just one question on the whole NJDEP approach. Do they follow any authorized protocol?
Well, they would, whatever they did, I'm sure they did it in accordance with the technical standards, but what are they obligated to do in their order of priorities with public funds for all contaminated sites in New Jersey? I don't believe that they're under any obligation to do anything, or they'd be dealing with every single abandoned contaminated site in New Jersey. So again, this is why I say the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and if I may just complete my notes, I realize I'm probably up 3 minutes. But this is the other thing you may want to know. There's currently 2 liens that I'm aware of against the property. One of them is a tax lien holder, so the township did sell tax liens in 2021, 2, and 3. So those liens are upwards of over $25,000. I do not expect speculating that any lien holder is going to want to foreclose on a contaminated property in order to have to clean it up. I would expect this tax lien company gambled on the wrong property and is going to take a wash on it. The other lien holder is NJDEP. Now, as of last fall, the money spent by NJDEP for which they have a lien against the property, which had not yet been updated, was $254,000 and change. So I can begin to imagine in any universe where somebody's going to come in, pay off these liens, and redevelop that property. I think the best thing for that property would be for the township to press the NJDEP to not walk away from it, finish the delineation. I'd be happy to email with you. I've asked them for a status update, but I wanted to make sure you're aware of it. I will circulate for you a copy of this court judgment, and please let me know what questions you have, because it's an eyesore, it's unsafe, and I would really hate to see, it's sort of the gateway to Delaware Township. There's, the potential for other better uses with that 7 acres.
Did NJDEP explain the root cause of that contamination, and did they comment on, has it been completely, discovered?
So, with respect to that site, I didn't introduce the facts that this was this home of Frank Schneider, and so it had all kinds of old, you've probably seen it. Are you familiar with it driving by?
I know where it's at.
Okay, so mostly a lot of automotive kinds of activity, old dumped portions of vehicles. if you let my client speak with their 3 minutes next, if you will, they could tell you a little bit more about the specifics that's there. But again, they need to do a complete delineation where they test for, all potential parameters in soil and groundwater, in accordance with the administrative standards. But they're hoping somebody else will come along and do that, and hire a licensed site remediation professional to do that. And I just don't see it happening. I think if we don't do something, and it's outside the realm of what the next door neighbors can do.
I'm in full agreement. We'll work with the township attorney, see what we can draft up in order to send something with my signature, the committee's signature, to DEP to try to press them, and we'll explore with the township attorney if there's any other sort of remediations that we can go after to try to get DEP to live up to their responsibility.
Yeah, reach out to me by email. I'll connect you directly with the dad on this, and we'll help you out, get connected so we can move forward with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to say anything? Me?
Michelle Dempsey, I'm at 530 Surgeonsville Road. I live right next to the Schneider property since 2008. In 2020, I bought 2.5 acres off of that estate.
Right.
It took me about a year and a half to get it because I had to go from township to county and township to county. And it took literally a ton of junk and over 3,000 tires to get that property cleaned up. When we finally cleaned it up, we got it, and we still got like what's left over there. They did clean up quite a few cars, because there have to have been over 200 cars there.
It does look like it's been, a majority of it was cleaned
Somewhat,
up.
yeah, but there's still
Right.
like tractor trailer trailers. There's a big
Right.
bus behind there. God only knows what's in the buildings. I mean, the buildings, all the roofs are caving in, all that's leaching out from the building, and whatever's in that, is coming out. And it's not necessarily coming onto my property, but like my attorney said, the neighbors behind him, Mrs. Herman, her well is actually contaminated with high levels of lead.
Yeah.
Now, they were telling her that they were gonna replace her well, but as of yet, she hasn't gotten an attorney, so they haven't done anything.
Okay.
So I kept asking the people at the DEP, there's still vehicles here, what about the contamination that's still in those vehicles? And they said, well, they've tested around that and it seems to be clean.
Okay.
That's the only answer that I've gotten. And then, like, all the junk just all over the place. It's like nobody's making any effort. Frankie Schneider Jr., who's still living there, hasn't paid taxes, isn't maintaining anything on the property, and DEP's like now nowhere to be found, and they're not quite giving us a straight answer. So it's kind of like, when we come out of the driveway, you gotta go through the eyesore, plus there's like a line of trees that is right next to the road, and you can't really see the cars coming, and the weeds grow over, the DEP did trim them back when they were there, but of course they're growing again, so everything's encroaching towards the road and just all over the place. So we're just kind of, I think it's more of a, the place looks like hell than anything. And I don't know what they're gonna do with the property. I'm sure DEP is, literally owning it by now with the lien that they have against the property, but, keep it in farmland is good. There's a neighboring farmer who farms the field, which is fine, but then there's, from that field on, it's just a total mess.
Agreed.
So.
Well, thank you. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna work with the township attorney and the joint committee, or me, I'll personally sign a letter, DEP, try to get them to do something. So, good luck, and we'll keep you abreast as to our action. But I would have planned to do something by the next meeting, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Sorry you have to deal with that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Roger Byron, headquarters Parliament. I just want to also thank you for honouring Tony. And as Josh said, he was one of the kindest souls I think that this community had, and his loss at his early age is a tremendous loss. And I would encourage us to appropriately memorialize him and for everything that he stood for. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Maria Esposito, resident.
Hi.
Hi. As you know, I've had this ongoing problem for 4 years in the sidewalk project, and at the last meeting, you're going into executive session. My contact person was always Charlie.
Yes.
He did call me the day after the meeting, and I emailed and never got a response from anyone, but
Okay.
I'm not asking for a discussion on what happened at the meeting to be discussed at this meeting, but I would like to know, who can I communicate with?
You can communicate with me.
Okay,
So I'll take over for what Charlie was doing. I will debrief with Charlie, find out where we stand,
okay,
and I promise I'll run with it. We'll get your situation resolved. And I know that the committee adamantly expressed that viewpoint in the meeting, so we're on top of it. I've just got my feet wet here
No,
since Charlie leaving,
I understand.
but I promise I'll get up to speed on it and I'll get it taken care of for you, okay?
okay. Because I know we get so far, you know, we had the GPR study, and
Right.
then nothing happened. Then we had Tom Decker, nothing happened after that. And
Sure.
they all agreed there were issues, but it's been a long time.
I understand completely.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome. And I apologize, I'm breaking my own rules because I'm not supposed to be talking
Well, I
during
know, I
public
heard
comment.
that, and-
So I'm gonna try my best, I gotta slap myself on the wrist to stop it. But anyway, I felt necessary to give you, provide an answer. Anybody else have any comment? Sir?
Mario, resident, Mario Russo. Just to give you guys a heads up on the DTA, I know last meeting we talked about that 7,500. We did receive some quotes on remediating some of the safety concerns on the T-ball. I just wanted to let you know, so we'll get you those quotes so that you guys can, you know, have everything in writing from them. But the one thing that's gonna take a little bit longer is the upper softball field. Seth is gonna work to try to get us a quote to do a topographical survey first to see where this water's coming from. I did take a picture of the field today, upper softball. I am interested to see what it's gonna look like on Thursday, but like,
Is there anything that the park, the guy that was working on the park plan, is there anything that can be leveraged from his work?
yeah,
To
with
get some-
the bigger park plan.
Yeah, so that was gonna be my point, Mario, and here I go again. I think we shouldn't, I don't want DTA to spend unnecessary money for a study that we're just gonna replicate again.
That's true.
So
The
if
park
you
plan
could,
will probably be-
we're supposed to have a park planning update from the planner within the next month, Diane, I believe. Let me find out from him whether a topographical study is included in, and I'm sure it probably does. If it does, then we'll have that discussion and you can tell Seth to not worry about it, but if it doesn't, then that's probably something that we should include. So,
Okay, I'll let him know that, so we'll just hang tight.
yeah, I would hang tight until we get further clarification.
We have our meeting coming up, so we haven't decided on which approach to do for the T-ball field to fix that issue.
Right.
But once we decide on which one, we'll email you guys and let you know and give you the quote.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chuck Klein, a resident. I brought this up a few times at the Township Committee meetings. The situation in Rosemont with flooding. And with this impending storm, I would hope that someone might be able to get out there and take a look at what's happening, because it's just completely out of control at this point. The county was supposed to do something. We had talked to the county engineer, but I have not heard anything back on that. They were supposed to come out and look at it. Again, I don't know what the situation is. So I'm just asking if someone could please follow up, maybe tomorrow night or Thursday morning, or Wednesday morning.
So my understanding, this issue came up the last time I was mayor, and I had spoken to the township engineer, and he claims that when they repaved, what is that, 519?
519.
They did not cover any grades. However, I believe the one resident that we both know is suggestive that they did cover a grade, and hence the reason for the flooding that's occurring there.
And they also changed the angle of the road, so now the water
It's
tends to
pitching the
run.
wrong way? Or?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, let me talk, I'll follow up with the county again. And you did have some sort of conversation or email chain with the county previously?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't? Did the resident?
I was leaving it up to the town.
Oh, okay. So I'll
Whatever
follow
you
back
find.
up and I'll see where we stand on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Yes?
I'm sorry, on the flooding note, has the county been out to clean the
The
storm
grates?
drain grates?
Yes. I
Because
think they
I've
did
done
that in preparation of the
Okay.
storm.
I know
As
I've-
much as they possibly could.
I've done it in the past myself, gone out, especially with the long pine needles that's used
Sure.
for ground cover.
Right.
And the one up from the road, it's always covered. And I've gone out and cleaned a couple of them. Neighbors think I'm crazy, but, you know, I'm the one that gets
They
the
won't
water.
when the water drains down there,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I know that they were working diligently as best they could, obviously. The county's huge, so they
Of
hit
course,
the
yeah.
main spots that obviously have flooded in the past and whatnot. But that's something that hopefully we'll have the DPW prepare for going forward. If we see a storm on the horizon, perhaps we can have them clean up all the grates that are under our jurisdiction, if you will.
They did put a clean out down from my driveway between my property and my neighbors. One of those white capped hookup, I'm not sure what you call it.
Right.
But I guess the delivery trucks have driven over it so much that it's all broken off and it's open. I don't know whether they're aware of that. There's no cover on it. I don't know whether debris can get in that and clog anything, but, you know.
So that's the county again, so we'll have to speak to them about that, so. Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to close the meeting to public comment, so we're now on to Township Committee comments. Mr. Boki.
I want to echo what everyone said about Tony. I've known him my whole life, and everyone I know, I think, has known him forever. It's tough, and he's one of those people that you're not going to realize how much you miss until you meet him, right? And he's always there to help out and always involved with everything. So yeah, I think it's gonna stop. But and that's all I have.
Thank you. Mrs. Lockwood?
And again, as a member of the Environmental Commission, we're all pretty devastated
Really?
as well. But again, Tony he was fun to be with, so we did keep the happy thoughts. We had a really good end of the year meeting, and the only other thing I will say is we do have the next newsletter that we are working on. So if anyone has anything, first of all, if the mayor could write a message for us.
Sure.
Our deadline is the 26th
Okay.
of January. And if there's anything else that anyone from any board or committee needs to go in the newsletter, please let me, just shoot me an email so I know it's coming.
Okay.
And that's your deadline, so, okay?
Do I have a word count maximum?
Shoot for like 250 words.
There you go. Okay.
Unless you mind getting edited, in which I try not to edit your hair though.
Thank you. Is that all you had? sir?
That's all I
Okay. Mr. Bauer.
Just want to build off the comment about Tony. I moved here 12 years ago. I bought a house on Jurgensen, and I didn't know anybody. Found this place. We thought this was an awesome community. I just bought about 25 trees and went up to the end, and I was trying to get some advice on how to plant these trees, soil, all that stuff, and I thought I had it figured out. Boy from New Mexico, where there's a lot of caliche, I had it all wrong. And Tony gave me a lot of great advice. Took his advice, went home. About an hour later, he came over. Didn't even know me, but he helped me. Spent 2 hours just helping me dig the holes, prepare, and I never forgot that. And he was a very kind person. He left an impression on me and was very generous. Helped us with the athletic association, drummed up support, help fundraise, certainly going to be missed.
Thank you. Mr. Bond?
Along those same lines, I appreciate how you wrote that up about him. I've known Tony for a long time. We've both been in the township quite a while. I've been here twice as long as he was, I guess, at this point. And it's a shame, and like everybody said, he would help anybody at any time, and he'd also buy everybody a drink at the end. Which, he was always there. No matter where he went, there's Tony at the feed mill, down to the deli, over at the inn. Tony's there. Tony's there. Wait till Tony comes in, we'll ask him. So that's, he's going to be very, very much missed in the township. That's all I can say. What a great guy. There will be a memorial service for him at the firehouse.
Yes.
Toward the end of the month, I don't know.
I thought I saw the 27th.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
7.
3 o'clock. And so I was going to mention that, and then I also wanted to mention Tony was the chair of the Friends of Delaware Township. It's a charitable organization, and we put up, the idea behind it is to make permanent memorializations for folks that were big people in our community and really, you know, exemplify community service, if you will. So Tony certainly fits that bill. So if you're interested in making a donation, it will be going towards whatever the trustees of that particular charity decide. But it would either be a park bench or a tree or something. I'm thinking a tree is probably really appropriate for Tony. So I think that would be nice. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And
can I just mention that the inn is proposing a drink called Guilty Response? You know Tony, he always said that. Guilty Response, and it would be used to fund some of these things.
That's great. That's great. So
And a stool with his name on, just like George.
I think that's a definite requirement over there. So, but anyway, so Tony will be sorely missed. And like Dave had mentioned, every time I drive around town, I'd see Tony's truck at all the different locations, and I still find myself looking for the truck. And anyway, so with that being said, I guess we have an executive session. So nothing for executive session. Do we have items for executive session? Okay.
Say 5 minutes.
Okay, if I could have a motion for executive session, please.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, folks. Everyone have a nice evening.
State of emergency, does that mean there's no school?